Need help trying to figure out how to read a band plan? I can help you with that. Stick around. What ham radio frequencies are you allowed to use? We're going to get into that here in just a minute. But first, I want to let you know that today's video is brought to you by World Radio League. WorldRadioLeague.com. It's a fast-growing community built by hams for hams. It's designed to connect operators worldwide, track your QSOs, and give you access to contests, awards, and operating challenges like never before. Matter of fact, I've got the website pulled up. I'll let y'all take a look at it there. There we go. Whether you're into DXing, rag chewing, or emergency comms, here's what I love about World Radio League. It's that it's not just a logbook. It's a platform that rewards you for being active on the air. Every contact you make goes towards something bigger, keeping you motivated and connected with operators around the world. If you're serious about making the most of your license and getting more out of the bands, I highly recommend you join World Radio League, and it's free to get started. It's one of the best ways to get plugged into the ham radio community worldwide. Again, free to try, free to use altogether. There are some paid tier memberships, and I think you're going to like World Radio League so much that you're going to want to go ahead and upgrade into one of those paid tiers. And when you do, I have a coupon code for you. It's HamShackTV10. HamShackTV10. That'll give you 10% off. They're already great membership prices, and when I say great, they are great. It is very, very affordable. So we appreciate World Radio League and the support that they give HamShack TV. All right, so today's video is all about the band plans, frequencies. Maybe you're new to the hobby, maybe you've been here a while, maybe something like that. So the first question is, what frequencies can I use without a ham radio license? Well, let's get into the details here. So this is World Radio League, and that's one of the great things about World Radio League is there's a button up here for the band plan. It's right there, easy enough, and you can actually purchase the band plan poster as well. So let's dive in and take a look. If you have on this side down here, the lower bottom, you see a color code here, right? This tells you where you're allowed to be and where you're not allowed to be. Here's the deal. If you do not have an amateur radio license, you have 0 bandwidth. You cannot use amateur radio frequencies, period, in the United States of America. You can use CB, but you can't even use GMRS without a license. So let's get your technician license. Use Ham Radio Prep to do that. And my coupon code HamShackTV for that one. But let's get started. Let's say you've got a technician license, and let me just get a little bit more comfortable here for the screen. All right, so let's say you've got a technician license. This is going to be the hash mark stuff, right? Okay. What I can tell you is 2 meters. You have everything. You have 2 meters all the way across the board. You have 1.25 centimeters all the way across the board. You have some of these other ones I've never used. 23 centimeters, never used that. 33 centimeters, never used that. And let me talk in frequencies here a little bit. 1240 to 1300 megahertz. I've never used it, but it's there. 900 megahertz, you have bandwidth there from 902 megahertz all the way up to 928 megahertz. 70 centimeters, or as some people call it, 440. You have bandwidth in some areas. Now, 420 to 430 is not available along the Canadian border. However, 432 all the way up to 450 is available. Now, there are certain regulations here. So let's take a closer look here at the 440 70 centimeter band. So you see this green here? That's digital communications. You have to be using digital frequencies. Actually, no, I'm wrong. That based on the color code, that is single sideband. You must use single sideband when you're between 432 and 433. Now, we get into 433 megahertz up to 435 megahertz. That is FM simplex. You can find a frequency and talk on it. Doesn't matter. It just has to be FM and has to be simplex. No repeater communications allowed there. From 435 to 438, and a little tight there. 435 to 438, that is going to be satellite communications. So you'll need, unless you're talking to a satellite, you need to stay off of there. From 438 to 440, that's FM simplex again. And then we start getting in this orange. And orange areas are FM repeaters. From 440 to 445, it is FM repeaters only. From 445 to 447, you're back into simplex again. And from 447 to 450 megahertz, you have to be on a repeater. 1.25, very much the same. I won't go through each one of these individually because it is a lot. 2 meters, you can see typically it's your repeaters. There's a few simplex spots here between 144.9 and 145.1, and then between 146.4 and 146.6, and then finally again 147.4 to 146 or 147.6. So 2 meters is that way. 6 centimeters, this is where you start crossing over into the HF window. This is actually still considered VHF, but the 6 meters is between 50 megahertz and 54 megahertz. A lot of simplex stuff here, but and single sideband, I should say. However, between 51.5 and 51.6, you have some FM simplex, and then between 52 and 54, you have simplex as well. But there's also repeater bandwidth in there. So you also have national calling frequencies available here. You can see, for instance, on 440, 432.1 is single sideband calling frequency. 446 even is the FM calling frequency. Moving over to 2 meters, 144.2 on single sideband is the calling frequency. 146.52 on FM is the calling frequency. Now let's move on down into HF. This is where things get complicated. And I'm not going to go all the way up to MF. We're going to stick with just HF. All right, so here's how this breaks down. Unless you see hash marks like this guy right here, technicians, you have 0 privileges whatsoever on HF. This is the only place technicians have any privileges. And I messed this up. Let me close this out and I'll bring it back up here. Here we go. We'll zoom back in. The green is for voice. Orange is for CW, I believe. Let me double check that. Yes. Green hash is for CW, or is for voice. Orange hash is for CW. So for voice, this is all you get, technicians. You get 28.3 to 28.5. That's it on your megahertz, and that's in the 10 meter band. That's it. You don't get anything else. You get a little bit of a look here on the right hand side. You see EAG, extra, advanced, and general. And the star is anything extra that might be out there. Let me zoom out just a little bit so we can see this a little closer. In the frame, in 10 meters between 28.0 and 28.3, that is going to be CW, ready, and data only. No voice down there. You can see there's satellite downlinks and FM frequencies for 10 meters, but that's it. Generals, advanced and extra, you have the full band all the way across the board. Same goes for 12 meters, but technicians, you get nothing in 12 meters. 12 meters goes from 28.890 all the way up to 24. Excuse me, I said that wrong. 24.890 all the way up to 24.990. However, from 24.890 to 24.930, it is CW, ready, and data only. Anything above 24.930 up to 24.990 is single sideband. You may use that there. Extras, advanced and generals, you have full privileges there. 15 meters is where things start changing a little bit. The advanced and the extras get a little bit extra compared to the generals here. 15 meters runs between 2100 megahertz or 21 megahertz and 21450 megahertz. Anything below 21.20 is CW, RIDI, and data only. Extras, you have from 2120 all the way up to 21450 for voice. Advanced, you get from 225 up to 21450, and then generals, you get from 21.275 up to 21.450 for single sideband. Technicians, you get a little bit of CW run room in the 15 meter band, 21.025 all the way up to 21.20. CW only, folks. 17 meters, it's fair game for extras, advanced, and generals from 18.068 megahertz all the way up to 18.168 megahertz. You get full privileges all across the board. Anything below 18.110 megahertz is going to be CW, RIDI, and data. And then 20 meters. 20 meters is extremely popular, folks. I spend a lot of time on 20 meters myself. Now, this gets a little bit more complicated. So let's dive in. 20 meters runs from 14.0 megahertz up to 14.350 megahertz. Now, you can see we've got a stair step again, actually on both sides of the equation here. Extras, you get all the way from 1400 or 14.0 all the way up to 14.350. Generals and advanced, you only, for CW, RIDI, and data, you only get 14.025 to 14.150. You have to be off of it by 14.150 because that is the extra class band only there. Once you get back to 14.175 advanced, you're back able to use single sideband. And then once you get to 14.225 generals, you can get back to single sideband. Now, PSK 31 has a specific frequency, 14.070.150. And then slow scan TV, 14.230. If you haven't done slow scan TV, folks, it's kind of fun. Go check it out. But again, very complicated there. But once you understand what you're looking at with the band plan, it's not hard to figure out. 30 meters is CW and data only. You get a maximum power of 200 watts, period. No more. 30 meters runs from 10.10 megahertz up to 10.15 megahertz. You must avoid interference to fix services outside the United States. So not all over the world do people have 30 meters. But again, CW and data only on 30 meters. 40 meters is just as popular as 20 meters. You see more activity on 20 meters during the day and more activity at night on 40 meters. But very complicated again. As you can see, the extra classes get a little bit extra. I guess that's why they call it the extra class, right? 7 megahertz all the way up to 7.3 megahertz. I would advise you to stay clear of 7.200, period. End of discussion on that. Technicians, you do get a little bit of bandwidth for CW from 7.025 up to 771.25 kilohertz. So there you go. But as you can see, it stair steps a little bit. Let's see here. Advanced, you have a little less CW space compared to the extras, but otherwise you get the full rest of the band. And then generals, you're cut off from you are only allowed for CW, RIDI, and data from 7.075 up to 7.125. Then you're clear of it again. You can't use it anymore. Then you can go back to single sideband at 7.175. Special notes here: 7.080.15 is PSK 31, and then slow scan TV will be on 7.171. Now, 60 meters is channelized, and you can only use a maximum of 100 watts effective radiated power there. Not all radios can do this. Most of them are already channelized, but if they're not, you need to set these because you are not allowed to transmit anywhere else in 60 meters except for on these frequencies exactly. So keep that in mind. 60 meters is in 5 megahertz, the 5 megahertz band. 80 or 75 meters. Some people argue that. I call it 80 meters. Call it what you want. You see we have a stair step going on. 80 meters runs from 3.5 megahertz all the way up to 4 megahertz. Extras, you get the whole gamut, as you should. Advanced and general and technicians, you actually get some CW space here. Technicians are limited to CW only. But advanced and general, you can go from 3.525 to 3.6 on CW data and ready. But again, technicians, you are limited to CW only in that area. Then we get into voice, single sideband. Extras, you get from 3.6 all the way up to 4. Advanced, you can't operate until you get to 3.7 megahertz, and you can go on from there. And then finally, the general class, you get from 3.8 to 4.0. And then finally, we move down into 160 meters. It's pretty much wild, wild west across the board down there. 160 meters runs from 1.8 megahertz all the way up to 2.0 megahertz. And again, no real restrictions there, just other than technicians can't be there. And you want to avoid interference to radio location operations from 1.9 to 2.0. So a little bit longer of a video here, guys. Again, if you go on the World Radio League, there is a band plan button right here at the very top. You just click on it and it'll take you right to it. You can also purchase a poster from them. And guys, I can't say enough about World Radio League. I love their product. Just give you a quick look here at my logbook that I use through them. Super easy. Excuse me. You type the call sign in, you report what frequency. Frequency's a lot easier. Sometimes, well, not sometimes. If you are running the cat control, the frequency automatically populates for you, and then hit send. That's all it is. A lot of people love to use this for POTA logs, guys. So go check out worldradioleague.com. Free to try. You just sign up for an account, and if you do decide you want to upgrade, you can go to, or you can use my coupon code HamShackTV10. You're going to get 10% off. They're already great prices on those memberships, guys. WorldRadioLeague.com. Can't say thank you enough to those guys. More content coming up, guys. Trying to get into a regular routine of content and information. So we'll keep cranking it out. Appreciate y'all watching. Appreciate you hitting the like and the subscribe button down below. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. 73s, everybody. AA4WX, WSCB 693.